subscribe, 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 consume, consume. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Welcome, everybody. It's Tuesday, day 2, week 6 of my Bullmastiff program. We are in the last week of base phase 2, so we got bench for 260 for 5 sets of 5, followed by tempo overhead press for 5 sets of 10, and then curls, skull crushers, and those shoulder rotations, each for 5 sets, 8 to 12. I know, I'm wearing my Hoochie Daddy shorts, and you guys thought that meant it would be leg day, but no. We can bench in Hoochie Daddy shorts too. Okay, so for curls and skull crushers, I did that same amount of weight for 4 sets of 12 last week, so that's a total of 48 reps. So if I shoot for 5 sets of 10 today, that's nice and even, and it'll end up getting me 2 more reps than I did last Thursday, so, or I guess Friday. So that's where we'll start. If the reps feel real good, we'll just go to 12. Maybe we'll do 60, and then if we do get all 60 today, I'll add 5 pounds on Friday when we do this again. Okay, let's kick off set 2. Get some sun on my white meat, I'll tell you that much. I might leave this today with sunburnt thighs. Whew. So, I know yesterday I kind of went off on a tangent about church service on Sunday and what they said about legacy and all that. And it got me thinking about a Bible story that I remember. It struck me probably when I was 5 or 6, was the story of Peter's denial of Christ, where, the night that Jesus was arrested, Peter denied knowing him 3 times. And I remember being like I said, 6 years old or so, and thinking, I would never do that. And I couldn't believe somebody who knew Jesus so closely could deny him like that. And that one stuck with me. And then I think this just clicked recently. Probably would have been, fast forward to 2016 probably. I was in Taji, Iraq. And we're touring a maintenance depot there. And my boss had to go off to some, big wig meeting with some of the main maintenance leadership in the country. So I was just kind of out in the hallway. So one of my leaders was like, hey, I'm going to stick you in this hallway with, it was like 4 or 5 Iraqi corporals and an interpreter. And then he just kind of left me there with them. And I remember, it was like one of those, they didn't speak any English. I didn't speak any, what do they speak? It's not Kurdish. It's probably just Arabic. There's all the Pashtun and whatnot, but I think it was just straight Arabic. I didn't speak it, obviously. And through the interpreter, I said, hey, how you guys doing? XYZ. And the first question they asked me was, are you Christian? And that's when it came back, 20 years later. I was thinking, oh my God, here's my St. Paul or St. Peter opportunity. I told myself as a kid that I would never deny it, but I got to tell you, I had a pit in my stomach and I was a little scared because, they are, I don't know them, they're armed and they're Iraqi soldiers, presumably Muslim, right? And by the grace of God, I had the courage to say, yeah, I am. I brushed it off, it's all, God of Abraham, and we all believe in the same God and love him. We just go about showing that love in different ways. And I remember they looked at me and they said, you're the first American we've ever seen who doesn't have a weapon. I told them, I'm like, why would I need a weapon? I'm here among friends. And as soon as I said that, they kind of broke into a smile. The stern faces went off, or the stern look went off their faces. And they all started laughing and agreed, yeah, we're friends. And soon after that, it was a happy ending. They ended up giving me like 8 free cigarettes, insisted I kept smoking with them. And then by the end of it, one of them asked if I'd be interested in marrying his sister. They all thought I was, quote unquote, that guy from Titanic. So I think all white guys looked the same to them. But it was an interesting story, and it got me to thinking, like, tying that back to legacy, even in our, the stories of our failures and our weakest moments, the story of Peter's failure that night when he denied Christ, 2,000 years later gave me the courage and the strength and the conviction to not deny it. And I don't know that I would have had that backbone had I not had Peter as my example in that story. So I guess the framing there is, even in our failures, God can work good things, great, powerful things. Our weakness is where his strength is made perfect, and human failings often serve to point others towards God. Just a thought I've been having, and a story I've been remembering lately. Oh. Ooh, you guys stick around for another day. Maybe I'll tell you the story about how I met Toby Keith at an arena football game in San Antonio after drinking 12 beers. Yeah. So that was set 3. I got 2 more. All right. That should be 4 sets of 5 right there. So, gonna rest for a minute, and then we're gonna do as many reps as possible on this last set. Last week I did 250 for 8 reps, so we're doing 260 this week. Feeling okay. I'd be happy if I got 7 or 8 on this. Whew. I'm still working on figuring out leg drive on the bench because my hips fire up. And I think the trick there is instead of, when the bar is on my chest trying to initiate leg drive, then I think probably need to initiate leg drive in the with fully extended arms, and then just maintain it through the entire rep. That way you're not, humping it up. Still working on it, as you can probably tell. I'm gonna tell you, these overhead press are probably gonna be sad. I'm gonna do 95 pounds for 5 sets of 10. And I'm probably gonna cry throughout the entire thing. All right. See, trying to incorporate my leg drive right here. So if I maintain this, hopefully Oh, my hips won't fire. Six, come on. One more. Yeah, right there when I rested with the bar down, I lost tightness in my hips, and then when I went to reinitiate it, they popped up. Ooh. So that's 7 reps. Not terrible. Whew. You know what? Take this opportunity to just add 5 pounds and shoot for sets of 10 there. I'm sweaty. All right, that's 3 of 5. Making good progress. Whew. You know, thinking back, I know I hinted at that Toby Keith story. Oh, and I have some guilt about it. I met him at an arena football game in San Antonio, probably 3 years ago. I don't know, it was probably like 10 or 11 months before he actually died. He was very kind to me, but I met him, got to shake his hand, took a picture with him, XYZ. And I remember telling him how much of an impact he had on my childhood growing up in post 9/11 America. And my drunk ass told him that if he came out with another album, I'd rejoin the army and go to Ukraine. He just kind of took it in stride and said, "Oh, thank you very much." But kind of feel bad about that in retrospect. I said it as a joke. But I wonder, you know, with the disaster that the war on terror ended up being, I wonder if that was something that ever bothered him. Or if he fully believed in the putting a boot in your ass because it's the American way approach. I don't know. Like I said, he was very kind to me, so I was the asshole. Six. Fun fact about that Toby Keith story is this mustache is the only reason I got to meet him even. I was walking through the halls of the stadium on my way back from the restroom, and I saw some dude sitting outside a suite in the hallway. He had a big old bushy, you know, Sam Elliott, Wilford Brimley white mustache. And I just went, you know, my God, that mustache is divine. And he said thanks, and he complimented my mustache. And we were in the suite next to him because we'd won some freaking Zoa Energy contest. It came with a suite, so you know we're all a bunch of veterans. And he started asking about that. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm over here in this suite. We got Toby Keith in there. Do you want to meet him?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I do." So that's how I even got in the room, was a mustache connection. It's better than a fraternity. You hear about skull and bones? Don't need that. Just grow a mustache. Went to a Toyota dealership over the weekend. I had to buy a new truck, and one of the salesmen there had an impressive mustache, and he saw mine from across the room and felt the need to compliment it. I got a free Toyotathon hat out of that interaction. Oh, it's a door opener, man. I'm telling you. Come on. Oh, that's painful. Huh? Oh, my feelings. Oh, let's do some curls. Curls, curls, curls. 2. Actually, you know what? Prep the battlefield. That's stupid. There you go. Just a few sets left. All right. So these are 10s on each side. I was doing 5s last week. So by adding 10 pounds, we're adding what? 20%. So we're gonna do sets of 8 on these. Triceps, we'll see. Shooting for 8 to 10. They're a little tired after the bench and the press. Write my notes before I forget. Whew. All right, let's do this thing. Eight. I don't have time for all this rest. Ow. I pinched, ooh, my fat roll between the barbell and my belt right there. Ow. It's Mac's dad bod, the natty daddy. Those are a little sloppy, so we're gonna stay at that weight and just increase reps until we gain baseline competency in the movement again. Whew, that might have been 9. Oh, we're just gonna count it as 8 though. Otherwise, I'll scale more aggressively than I want to on those. One more set. Then we got deadlifts on Thursday. It's very exciting. Deadlifts and more front squats than I ever want to do in my life. So, if you're keen on seeing a grown man cry, make sure you don't miss that one. All right, last set. Let's get it done. Whew. All right, that's it for Thursday. That's it for Tuesday. Catch me on Thursday. And we'll catch you next time.